In 1776, Adam Smith introduced a concept that would define modern economics: the invisible hand. He argued that when individuals pursue their own rational self-interest, an unseen mechanism steps in, coordinating those separate actions to generate broad prosperity for society. Look at this historical photograph of early Wall Street. For over 2 centuries, the financial markets and major corporations have used Smith's metaphor to justify every market optimization, corporate restructuring, and algorithm they deploy. Today, however, we are living in a corporate paradox. AI makes building digital products faster and cheaper than ever, yet customer acquisition costs skyrocket and shatter balance sheets. Enterprises are spending vast fortunes to capture and retain users, and despite that massive expenditure, they frequently lose those same users to a competitor offering a marginally sleeker feature. The invisible mechanism is failing to drive prosperity because it has a prerequisite. The market must be able to see the consumer as a complete entity. Today, the modern enterprise cannot see the whole consumer. The invisible hand has gone blind. Consider how a modern boardroom functions. To get a $20 million research and development budget approved by the CFO, a chief product officer must justify their roadmap using strict statistical averages and a total addressable market. But those statistical averages are drawn entirely from Layer 2 data lakes. We are relying on information trapped inside CRM platforms, credit bureaus, and loyalty programs. This data visualization shows exactly why that pool is biased. Out of 8 billion global data nodes, the ledger aggressively filters down to represent only the wealthiest 14% of the population. These overserved individuals have easily assembled digital trails. Relying on this biased subset forces companies into the justification trap. They design products for an anchoring phantom, a statistical ghost of fragmented data that does not physically exist. Consequently, the world's largest companies enter a zero-sum war. They are all competing over this exact same ghost, pouring capital into massive marketing campaigns just to sell incremental feature bloat to an already saturated demographic. Data-driven enterprises believe they are innovating. In truth, they are systematically optimizing their business models into a declining, hyper-competitive market based on hallucinated averages. This leaves the remaining 86% of the global population. Roughly 7 billion people represent the largest market opportunity of the next 50 years. Economist Hernando de Soto, seen here, identified this exact gap. He mapped out $7 trillion in what he termed dead capital. These billions of people possess real assets, houses, crops, businesses, but lack the formal structural representation needed to convert them into capital. These consumers are often described as invisible to the market. But they are not invisible. Their identities are simply fragmented across isolated corporate ledgers. A single human appears as separate entities. To a utility, a ratepayer. To a hospital, a patient. To transit, a commuter. Privacy laws and technical barriers block communication. Current dashboards can never piece these fragments back into a whole human. Throwing more artificial intelligence at the problem fails to solve the root issue. Applying faster algorithms to fragmented identity ensures the enterprise only hallucinates faster over the wrong data pool. Layer 3, the completion layer, provides the cryptographic framework to resolve fragmented identity without resorting to mass surveillance. In a cryptographic audit, an enterprise emits a logic gate to a community regarding structural stability. Members respond anonymously via edge devices, keeping personal data on their phones. Individual responses merge into a collective wave to achieve ground truth coherence. By allowing a community to attest as a whole, the enterprise bypasses the need to track and assemble individual data fragments. It finally sees the market as it physically exists. Once ground truth is established, the chief financial officer shifts strategy. They stop deploying capital into saturated marketing campaigns aimed at the wealthiest 14%. The CFO reallocates dormant capital from defensive gap reserves, like bad debt provisions or phantom grid queues, and directs it through parallel treasury execution. This zero-custody capital is deployed directly to the point of origin, going precisely where needed to cure the structural survival needs of that specific community. In practice, a utility company can reallocate bad debt provisions to stabilize a household's utility arrears, Or a hospital can release capital to directly support local caregivers and community health workers. Structured growth operates by stabilizing the community foundation, which allows the $7 trillion of debt capital to enter the formal market. The downstream financial impact is enormous. Individuals freed from utility debt and transit failures enter the formal economy, becoming viable, loyal consumers of the enterprise's actual products. Boardrooms can now pivot towards resolving identity fragments within the 86%. This restores the nervous system of the economy and builds market share where it didn't previously exist.